Hello students, good morning. This is Ajay Kumar Solanki and today I have brought for you chapter number 3 in history. Okay, open your books. Now today I will explain this chapter for you, the Turkish invasions. Okay, invasions means होता है आक्रमण. तुर्क लोगों के आक्रमणों के बारे में we will study in this chapter. So open your book. Arrival of the Arabs in India. First of all, we will talk about Arabs, how they get settled in India, with what motives actually they came to India, what actually they had done. First of all, India had the trade relations with Arabia, as you know very well, and since time immemorial, immemorial का मतलब very olden time, और उस olden time से India had the trade relations with Arab countries. Arabs had established their settlements on the western coast of India, and with this very purpose they had come to India, and they had set up their settlements there at the western coast, where the Arabs embraced Islam. Later on they adopted Islam in 7th century AD. Their attitude towards India underwent significant changes, and as soon as they embraced Islam, there were very important changes they had gone through along with the trade, and they now began to cherish dreams of conquering territories in India. Now they started expanding their boundaries, and they started winning the territories of India, and because of this dream they had entered into this country. And not only this, they started doing the propagation means prachar karna, prasar karna, and teachings of Islam everywhere in India. With these ambitions in mind, the Arab planned to invade India. Now they wanted to attack India, and that was the purpose of them. And finally their planning actually came into action later on. Northern India at this time was divided into several kingdoms, because there were so many kingdoms in India, in northern India, which were busy fighting among themselves for political supremacy, and every kingdom actually wanted to be the best one in the field of politics. So because of which they themselves were fighting, and this advantage was taken by these people, by the Arabs. Thus in 8th century AD, India was invaded by Muhammad bin Qasim. Because of this weakness of Indian territories, Indian kingdoms, Muhammad bin Qasim took the advantage, and he attacked on this country. And Muhammad bin Qasim was a general of Umayyad dynasty. उम्मैद डिनेस्टी मतलब वंश, उसका जो जनरल था वो मोहम्मद बिन कासिम था. ही कन्वर्ट सिंध. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ही वॉन सिंध in AD 712 and Multan also in AD 713. The Arabs under Qasim fought fierce battles. There was a very tooth and nail contest between the armies of India and Arabs, and finally actually after this fight, the forces of Dahir, then the ruler of Sindh, जो कि सिंध का रूलर था, देवाल, Brahmanabad and Rawar, and these territories were won by him. The Arab forces captured Aror. These were the capitals which were annexed by this ruler. The capital of Sindh, Aror was the capital of Sindh at that very time, and looted its treasure. And not only this, he looted the treasure and valuable things also, and then they conquered Multan and got so much wealth from there. Thereafter they proceeded towards another place, that is Multan, and from there also they looted lots of wealth, and named the Multan also because of its enormous wealth, city of gold. And these territories renamed under the control of Arabs for 150 years. And after winning over these territories, they ruled over these territories up to 150 years, and more than that also. And with the death of Muhammad bin Qasim, and after this ruler died in AD 716, the Arab failed to retain their political power. Now the political power could not be maintained in Sindh and for long. And from the 9th century AD onwards, the Arabs were followed by Turks, and thereafter in 9th century and after onward, actually Arabs were followed by the Turkish people, Turkish sultans, Turkish kings. Invasion of the Turks. Now we will study about the Turks. The Turks invaded India with the aim of conquering new territories. Same intention as Muhammad bin Qasim had, and they also spread Islam, looted the wealth of India and Indian places. The Turks who first invaded India belonged to the ruling family of Ghazni. And Ghazni was a place, and Sobuktigin ascended the throne of Ghazni in AD 977. And Sobuktigin actually was a very had the skills of military. He was a military king, so that's why he was very ambitious, महत्वाकांक्षी था, and he laid his eyes on India. Now he was dreaming to win over India and Indian territories. Sobuktigin defeated Jaipal. First of all, Jaipal, the Hindu Shahi ruler, and he was defeated by Sobuktigin, and thereafter he captured Peshawar also in his control. Now the students, now we will study about Mahmud of Ghazni, the real founder of Turkish dynasty. Sobuktigin died in AD 997. He was succeeded by his son Mahmud of Ghazni. Mahmud of Ghazni actually was the son of Sobuktigin, and his time span is given over here within the brackets. Mahmud wanted to make Ghazni the most powerful kingdom of the reign. Now this was the dream of Mahmud, and he wanted to make this place the most powerful kingdom. अपने रीजन का सबसे पावरफुल किंगडम वो बनाना चाहता था, एंड विद दिस ऑब्जेक्टिव्स एक्चुअली first of all he set up his eyes over the northern part of India where there was no unity at all, and these northern kingdoms were very very rich. So that's why he took a place now to go for the expeditions. Expeditions means क्या होता है students? Journey for a specific purpose, and many expeditions during the time span of 26 years and he made, and he invaded during this time span over India 17 times. Now we will study about the expedition, okay, on which he went every year. And now first of all, first expedition of Mahmud of Ghazni was in AD 1001. In his first expedition actually he defeated Jaipal, who was the king of Punjab, and captured Peshawar. Peshawar he took it under his control, and thereafter students, he received large tributes from Jaipal. Jaipal actually surrendered himself before him, and he was feeling very humiliated because as a tribute he had given lots of things to Mahmud of Ghazni, okay. And later on he committed suicide, he burnt himself. He could not bear or put up with this insult or anymore. And now AD, second expedition in AD 1008 of Mahmud of Ghazni, Mahmud defeated Anandpala, okay, the son of Jaipala he was, and he conquered territories as far as Nagarkot. Nagarkot तक उसने अपना कब्जा कर लिया, और Anandpala, after defeating Anandpala, and Mahmud captured the forts of Nagarkot and Kangra, and these two forts were under his control, and he looted the temples also there. In AD 1014 another expedition, and he defeated this time Trilochanapala, and Trilochanapala actually was the son of Anandpala, and he captured and Nandanaha as well. Nandanaha was also under his control. Between AD 1015 to 1021 he went for another expedition, and this time Mahmud made two attempts to conquer Kashmir, but actually he failed there, unfortunately. And now next expedition was in AD 1018. Mahmud turned his eyes towards the Ganga Yamuna Doab. Doab fertile area, Doab is a fertile area, and Ganga Yamuna का जो fertile plain area था वहाँ पे उसने अटैक किया, क्योंकि उसका जो है ड्रीम था, he wanted to win over this place. That was his 12th expedition. He defeated rulers of Mathura and Kannauj also, and he destroyed and looted the beautiful temples of Mathura, Vrindavan, Kannauj. यहाँ के मंदिरों को उसने लूट लिया. And against Somnath. And now we will study about Somnath. This was the expedition made by him in 1026. Mahmud proceeded towards the famous Hindu temple Somnath. अब वो आगे बढ़ा सोमनाथ की तरफ. सिचुएटेड वेरी फेमस टेम्पल इट वाज, एंड इट इज़ सिचुएटेड ऑन साउथ कोस्ट ऑफ काठियावाड़, और काठियावाड़ के साउथ कोस्ट पर मंदिर मौजूद है, स्थित है. एंड ही वाज अपोज्ड बाय द रूलर्स आर्मी. और साथ में रूलर की आर्मी उसके उसके द्वारा उसे अपोज किया गया वहाँ के लोकल रूलर के द्वारा, एंड बाय द ब्राह्मण्स, बाय द वर्शिपर्स। महमूद इंटेंसली अपील टू हिज सोल्जर्स टू डाई फॉर द कॉज। नाउ महमूद स्टार्टेड प्रोपेगेटिंग, महमूद स्टार्टेड स्प्रेडिंग दिस न्यूज़ दैट you need not to worry at all, and in the services of God, if you just die for the noble cause on the name of Islam, then directly they will go to heaven. Then in this battle thousands of devotees of Somnath were slaughtered, मतलब killed, brutally killed. महमूद फाइनली एंटर्ड द टेम्पल, महमूद ने उन सबको मार दिया और फाइनली ही एंटर्ड द टेम्पल एंड लूटेड इट्स वेल्थ, एंड द टेम्पल ऑफ सोमनाथ वॉज रेज टू द ग्राउंड, रेज मीन्स डिस्ट्रॉयड, एंड सोमनाथ का जो टेम्पल था वो डिस्ट्रॉय कर दिया गया पूरी तरीके से, रेज टू द ग्राउंड मतलब कम्प्लीटली डिस्ट्रॉयड. And this is another expedition of Mahmud of Ghazni. Mahmud's last expedition to India was in AD 1027, and this time to punish the Jats. He came here to punish the Jats who had troubled him on his way back from Somnath, because when he was coming back from Somnath and they had just blocked his way, troubled him, created the misery on his way, so that's why he wanted to punish them. And in this battle he killed all the male Jats, and rest of the family members like women and children, he made them his slaves. Estimate of Mahmud. Now we will study the personality of Mahmud, how we can estimate his personality and different concerns. Although he was an invader, plunderer, loot करता था वो, आक्रमणकारी था, but Mahmud of Ghazni was an educated person. He was a learned man, okay, and he had a great leadership quality. Not only he was learned, but he was like a leader. He patronized literature. He favored literature and art also in his kingdom, and his court was adorned by number of scholars. Means बहुत सारे जो scholars थे, विद्वान थे, court was adorned. So शोभित था उसका दरबार इन सभी लोगों से. And अल-बिरूनी, उत्बी, फिरोज़ी. अल-बिरूनी तो बहुत ही famous author था. He was a very famous author, and because he had written a book, Kitab-ul-Hind, one of the finest works, and on astronomy, mathematics, philosophy, geography, and he has written this book over these subjects. Mahmud established a university also, okay, library also, museum also, and at Ghazni. Ghazni में उसने ये 3 जगह भी बनवाई. He was famous for his just and responsible nature, and he was famous and as a just ruler, as a न्यायप्रिय राजा की तरह फेमस था वो, रिस्पॉन्सिबल पर्सन की तरह फेमस था. महमूद डाइड इन AD 1030, and despite his qualities, though he had many qualities, but still he could not give the stability to his empire, and empire actually did not have the stable shape in his reign. Under his successors, the Ghaznavid empire shrank rapidly. Now the successors were also very weak, and because he himself actually was not, though he was a very powerful ruler, but later on, as you can see, that he had looted the temples, he was a plunderer, he was a destroyer. So only as a destroyer, as a looter, he became famous. Not only this, he earned the title also later on, like idol breaker, मूर्तियों को तोड़ने वाला, ये टाइटल भी उसको मिला. And he is always remembered in history as a fanatic Muslim. कट्टरवादी मुस्लिम को फेवर करने वाले राजा के तौर पर उसको जाना जाता है. Despite all these qualities, और उसके बाद में जितने भी ये सक्सेसर्स आए, they were weak, and because of which his empire fell like autumn leaves. जैसे कि leaves fall off in autumn season, similarly his empire also fell. Now we will study about Muhammad Ghori. Muhammad Ghori province of Ghor actually is situated in between Ghazni and Herat. गजनी और हेरात के बीच में ये घोर नाम का प्रोविंस है, एक प्रांत है, इन नॉर्थ वेस्टर्न अफ़गानिस्तान में. मोहम्मद गौरी बिलोंग टू दिस घोर डिनेस्टी, एंड मोहम्मद गौरी मेड घोर इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ गजनी, और उसने जो है घोर को बिल्कुल इंडिपेंडेंट, गजनी का बिल्कुल इंडिपेंडेंट किंगडम की तरह डिक्लेयर कर दिया. ही ऑल्सो एनेक्स्ड ऑल दी गजनवी टेरिटरीज़, और जितनी भी जो महमूद ऑफ गजनी ने टेरिटरीज़ को विन ओवर किया था, ऑल दी टेरिटरीज़ वर एनेक्स्ड, मीन्स टेकन अंडर हिज कंट्रोल, अपने कंट्रोल में लेना, छीन लेना, वो सारी की सारी उसने अनेक्स कर ली. मोहम्मद गौरी वॉज एन एम्बिशियस रूलर. ही वॉज ऑल्सो एम्बिशियस, उसके अंदर बहुत सारी महत्वाकांक्षाएँ थी, इच्छाएँ थीं आगे बढ़ने की. वॉन्टेड टू एक्सटेंड द टेरिटरीज ऑफ हिज एम्पायर, एंड ही वॉन्टेड टू expand his empire, territories of his empire, any more and more. Therefore, like Mahmud of Ghazni, he also set his eyes on India. इसलिए उसने भी he kept India, Indian territories in his consideration, and he also wanted to win over them, which at that time was divided into many small kingdoms, and there were many small kingdoms in India at that very time. And Muhammad Ghori conquered Multan first of all in AD 1175, and then in AD 1178 he was defeated by Bhima II. Okay, and this defeat was so much severe, and he received such a he faced such a severe defeat that later he did not have enough courage to once again to invade this territory ruled over by Bhima II till 20 years. Till 20 years he did not attack Gujarat. He was badly defeated in this battle. In AD 1182 now he annexed Sindh. उसने सिंध को अपने कंट्रोल में ले लिया, and in AD 1186 he made Lahore a part of his empire. The annexation of Multan, Lahore, Sindh encouraged him. Now his confidence level after these win over Multan, Lahore and Sindh boosted him up a lot, and he was planning now to invade India. Or in AD 1190 he conquered the Punjab, the very first province he won over in India, and the next advance was towards the neighboring kingdoms of Delhi and Ajmer. Now he advanced, he proceeded, अब वो आगे बढ़ा towards the neighboring kingdoms, दिल्ली और अजमेर के जो आसपास के राज्य थे, he wanted to win them. First of all, first battle of Tarain, AD 1191, and in this battle he faced Prithviraj Chauhan, and who was the ruler at that very time of Delhi and Ajmer, and a very gruesome fight, actually very terrible fight was there between these two armies of Muhammad Ghori and Prithviraj Chauhan in AD 1191, and this fight actually was fought in the field of Tarain, which was 80 miles away. This place is 80 miles away from Delhi, where the battle was fought. The armies of Prithviraj Chauhan inflicted a terrible defeat on the forces of Muhammad Ghori. Muhammad Ghori actually was defeated by Prithviraj Chauhan, badly defeated. This was a terrible defeat, but actually one fault actually Prithviraj Chauhan had done, that Muhammad Ghori was defeated though, but he let him go, and he did not drive him away from the Punjab. He allowed him to remain over there, so because of which he once again strengthened his army, and once again made up his mind for the second attack. And this time, because he was humiliated, he was insulted because of his previous defeat, and he wanted to take avenge anyhow of this defeat from Prithviraj Chauhan. And as a result, the second battle of Tarain was fought in 1192, and this battle was fought again between Prithviraj Chauhan and Muhammad Ghori, and two armies once again came face to face in the field of Tarain in AD 1192. Prithviraj Chauhan, though tried to seek the help of the different Rajput rulers, but though he got the help, but some other Rajput rulers actually went back, like Jai Chandra of Kannauj, and he denied to help Prithviraj Chauhan. Prithviraj Chauhan was badly defeated as a result in the battle, and his territories were annexed. Over the territories of Prithviraj Chauhan, Muhammad Ghori took control, and not only he was captured, but later he killed Prithviraj Chauhan. Muhammad Ghori appointed now Qutbuddin Aibak as the governor of Delhi and Ajmer. Okay, and he then returned to Ghor, और वो वापस लौट गया अपने घोर province. Muhammad Ghori came back to India once again in AD 1194, and he defeated and killed Raja Jayachandra of Kannauj this time. And in AD 1195 he conquered Bayana also and attacked Gwalior. In AD 1205 he defeated Khokars, who ruled the territory between rivers of Chenab and Jhelum. Chenab और झेलम के बीच की territories पे ये खोकर लोग राज्य करते थे, and he defeated them also. On his way back to Ghazni, and when he was going back to Ghazni, Muhammad Ghori was stabbed. Muhammad Ghori की चाकू मार के तलवार मार के हत्या कर दी गई. That is stabbed on March 15, 1206. He was buried in Ghazni, और उसको गजनी में ही दफना दिया गया. Qutbuddin Aibak succeeded him. Later on, Qutbuddin Aibak became the successor of him, and he laid the foundation of the slave dynasty. कुतुबुद्दीन ऐबक ने स्लेव डिनेस्टी की फाउंडेशन रखी। अगर हम A.L. श्रीवास्तवा के अकॉर्डिंग उनकी थ्योरी पे बिलीव करें तो ऐबक वॉज द रियल फाउंडर ऑफ टर्किश डोमिनियन इन इंडिया। टर्किश लोगों की जो बादशाहत थी, डोमिनियन था, उसकी रियल फाउंडर वो थे कुतुबुद्दीन ऐबक। ओके, एंड द फर्स्ट डी फैक्टो सुल्तान ऑफ द ऑलमोस्ट एंटायर ऑफ हिंदुइज्म। डी फैक्टो मीन्स क्या होता है स्टूडेंट्स? इनफैक्ट। और वो सबसे पहला वास्तविक सुल्तान था पूरे के पूरे हिंदुस्तान का, कुतुबुद्दीन ऐबक। Causes of Rajputs failure. Now the students, we will learn why the Rajputs were badly defeated in the battle. What actually were the main reasons for that? The main reasons of the defeat of the Rajput rulers at the hands of Muhammad of Ghazni, Muhammad Ghori, क्यों हारे वो इन दोनों से? Lack of political unity. सबसे पहले तो students, North India was divided into a small kingdoms. Already I have told you so many kingdoms were there in northern part of India, and they were fighting. They always kept fighting with each other only because of one reason, and to prove their superiority. They wanted to prove superior and against each other. They failed to unite themselves against a common enemy. Now there was no unity in them, so that they could fight against the common enemy. And Rathods of Kannauj and Chauhans of Delhi wasted their energy simply in mutual jealousies. Mutual means आपस की जो jealousies थी, बस उसमें उन्होंने time waste किया. Existence of feudal system. Feudal system students क्या होता है? Feudal system is the system in which rich nobles and landlords give away their land to the poor in return of military services. रिच नोबल्स जो हैं वो अपनी ज़मीन देते हैं पुअर पीपल को और उनसे हासिल करते हैं बदले में मिलिट्री टाइप की सर्विसेज। और जो फ्यूडल सिस्टम था स्टूडेंट्स, इस तरह का रिच लैंड लॉर्ड्स का पुअर पीपल को अपनी ज़मीनें देने वाला सिस्टम, फ्यूडल सिस्टम, एनकरेज्ड कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स। इससे भी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स पैदा हुए, इससे भी झगड़े पैदा हुए, यूनिटी की कमी आई। एंड ऑल द रूलर्स हैड देयर सेपरेट स्मॉल आर्मीज। सभी रूलर्स, एवरी रूलर हैड द सेपरेट आर्मी, कंबाइंड नहीं थे, यूनाइटेड नहीं थे, विच वर कमांडेड बाय द फ्यूडल चीफ्स, और दीज आर्मीज वर कमांडेड बाय द चीफ्स ऑफ feudal chiefs, and thus the army lacked coordination, and there was no coordination in army, and so that's why the coordination system poor था, the resources of the state were not utilized for the poor maintenance of the army. Maintenance could not be made of army, maintenance could not be made because the resources were utilized but not utilized well. उनका यूज़ बढ़िया तरीके से नहीं किया जाता था, not for the welfare of the army. Now students, we will learn about social conditions. The existence of caste system, untouchability, social divisions, society was divided, and distinctions led to the social degeneration. All these reasons were there because of which the society was degenerated. Degenerated means students, the state of decline. Society was declining, and it prevented the unity of the people in times of need. Whenever there was need, there was no unity at that very time. The army got no support also from the common people. Common people always went backward at the time of need. Professor K.A. Nizami says that the real cause of the defeat of the Indians lay in their social system. According to Professor K.A. Nizami, the real cause of defeat of Indians was the social system and the invidious caste distinctions. And invidious means unjust, unfair. Caste distinction was also reason, social system was also reason, and because of which rendered the whole military organization rickety and weak. जिससे कि पूरी की पूरी military organization क्या हो गई? Rickety. Rickety means poorly made and likely to collapse. Likely means possibly to collapse. Collapse का मतलब destroy हो जाना, जिसकी वजह से military organization collapse होने के कगार पे थी. Lack of religious enthusiasm. As you see, Turks wanted to spread Islam in India, okay? So they were also inspired by religious zeal, but such zeal actually were not found in Indians, and there was no enthusiasm in them, and were divided into different religious sects. और कोई enthusiasm नहीं था और कोई zeal नहीं था और अलग अलग तरीके के धार्मिक संप्रदाय इसमें बने इंडियन सोसाइटी में. Lack of military techniques. Now students, India practically remained indifferent to the military and scientific advancements and made in neighboring countries. And India practically, if we see, remained indifferent, neutral था. regarding the military, regarding the scientific advancements, and no military and scientific advancements could be seen. Turks actually were very clever, and they always utilized their time, money over archery and various shocking tactics only to dishearten the Indian army. डिसहार्टन का मतलब दूसरे का कॉन्फिडेंस गिराना, और वो तरह तरह की शॉकिंग टैक्टिक्स का यूज़ करते थे, घुड़सवारी सीखते थे, तीरंदाजी सीखते थे. इंडियन सोल्जर्स ओनली फॉट विद देयर swords. सिर्फ तलवारों से लड़ने में इंडियन सोल्जर्स बिलीव्ड. एलिफेंट्स दे यूज्ड only to frighten their enemies, and their elephants actually ran away from their fields. It was the age of the horses, but still Indians used elephants to fight. And Hindus relied on mountain like elephants, जबकि हिंदूज पहाड़ से ऊंचे एलिफेंट्स पर लड़ने में बिलीव करते थे. मोबिलिटी कुड नॉट बी सेन, एक्टिविटी कुड नॉट बी सेन, वाइल द अदर आर्मीज बिलीव्ड, टर्किश आर्मीज बिलीव्ड इन मोबिलिटी, इन एक्टिविटी, एंड ऑलवेज, and mobility was completely absent in Indian armies, and there was no mobility, there was no activity, and improper use of wealth. India from the ancient times, as you know students, was a rich country, so golden bird. Its huge wealth was either concentrated in temples. Most of the money was spent over the construction of temples and over the palaces and of the ruling families, and Indian rulers failed fully to utilize the wealth to build up their military strength. That is the most important issue. So this was the chapter, students, and I do hope that you understood this chapter very well. Now we will discuss the questions that are given at the end of the chapter. Okay students, these are the questions. Now can you give me the answers? First, why did the Turks invade India? Can you tell me? Because they wanted to set up their territories, they wanted to set up their own empire in India, and they wanted to loot the Indian wealth. So that's why they came to India. Write in brief about Sobuktigin. Tell me who was Sobuktigin? Sobuktigin actually was the father of Mahmud of Ghazni, as you can see over here, and he came to India for plundering and looting the wealth and for spreading Islam. Okay. Now the students, next question to you, that is write in brief about the Kitabul Hind. Kitabul Hind actually was written by Al-Biruni, very finest work, one of the finest books on philosophy, and one of the finest books. Al-Biruni actually I want to show you, and a very famous writer he was, and he had written this book over the different issues. Okay students, and Al-Biruni, okay, here you can see, and one of the finest works on astronomy, mathematics, philosophy and geography. Al-Biruni, very great author he was. Similarly, you can find out the answer from your book. And who was the real founder of Turkish dominion in India? Can you tell me? Real founder was Mahmud of Ghazni, and only one word answer it is, and mention any two causes of Rajput's failure: unity, social discriminations, casteism, untouchability, and lots of issues were there. Now, why did Mahmud of Ghazni invade India? Simple issue, to plunder its wealth and destroy the temples. राइट अ नोट ऑन महमूद एक्सपेडिशन. अभी बताइए महमूद की एक्सपेडिशंस के बारे में, सोमनाथ के बारे में, कि वो सोमनाथ क्यों आया? बिकॉज ही वांटेड टू लूट द वेल्थ ऑफ सोमनाथ टेम्पल, वेरी फेमस टेम्पल, डिस्ट्रॉय इट टू द ग्राउंड. गिव एन एस्टिमेट ऑफ महमूद ऑफ गजनी की पर्सनैलिटी के बारे में बताइए. टेल मी, बिकॉज महमूद ऑफ गजनी, what type of estimation? He was a learned man, he promoted art and education, right? And he promoted literature. He himself was a learned man, just ruler. Lots of traits are given in the chapter. Discuss Muhammad Ghori's battles with Prithviraj Chauhan. Two battles were fought between them. In first battle, Prithviraj Chauhan defeated Muhammad Ghori, but later on he strengthened an army and finally annexed all the territories from Prithviraj Chauhan. Prithviraj Chauhan tried to take help from the other Rajput rulers, but finally he was defeated and he killed him. Muhammad Ghori killed Prithviraj Chauhan. Now last question students, why did the Indian armies lose against the Turks? Because Indian armies believed to fight sitting on the mountain like horse elephants, while the Turks believed in fighting sitting on horseback, and this was the fashion of the day also. They believed in mobility, right? They were very active, so because of which Indian armies lost the battle against them. So these are the questions students. Now once again read the chapter, try to understand its contents, and thank you very much for watching out this video. Once again I will be with you with some other video. Thank you very much, and have a good day. Hello students, good morning to all of you. Now I am going to discuss the book exercises of chapter number 3, the Turkish invasions. Get ready to answer. First of all, multiple choice questions. Open your book. First one is the capital of Sindh was. 4 options are here. In chapter आपने पढ़ा the capital of Sindh was Aror. Take care. Which city was named as the city of gold? कौन से सिटी को सिटी ऑफ गोल्ड बोला गया अरब लोगों के द्वारा? 4 options are here. Correct answer is मुल्तान. Okay. Which religion was started in India by the Arabs? अरब लोगों के द्वारा कौन सा धर्म स्टार्ट किया गया? 4 options here. Correct answer is Islam. How many times did Mahmud of Ghazni invade India? महमूद ऑफ गजनी ने इंडिया पे कितनी बार इन्वेड किया, आक्रमण किया? 17 times. ओके. शाहनामा वॉज रिटन बाई, शाहनामा किसके द्वारा लिखी गई है? फिरदौसी. विच फेमस टेम्पल ऑफ लॉर्ड शिवा वॉज प्लंडर्ड? प्लंडर्ड मीन्स लूट लेना. महमूद ऑफ गजनी ने भगवान शिव का कौन सा मंदिर लूट लिया था? सोमनाथ इज़ द करेक्ट आंसर. एंड मोहम्मद गौरी कनकर्ड मुल्तान, मोहम्मद गौरी ने मुल्तान को कब जीता? 4 options are here. Correct is D, AD 1175. सेकेंड बैटल ऑफ तराइन वॉज फॉट बिटवीन मोहम्मद गौरी एंड, सेकेंड बैटल जो तराइन में लड़ाया गया वो मोहम्मद गौरी और किसके बीच में लड़ा गया? 4 options are here. करेक्ट आंसर इज पृथ्वीराज चौहान. नाउ स्टूडेंट्स, ट्रू फर्स्ट. अरब्स इनिशियली केम टू इंडिया फॉर ट्रेड. क्या वो व्यापार के लिए आए थे अरब लोग शुरू में इंडिया? यस, ट्रू. रूलर ऑफ सिंध एट द टाइम ऑफ मोहम्मद बिन कासिम वॉज दाहिर. मोहम्मद बिन कासिम जब इंडिया पे आक्रमण किया था तो फिर सिंध में रूलर दाहिर था. ट्रू. महमूद ऑफ गजनी सक्सीडेड अगेंस्ट कश्मीर. महमूद ऑफ गजनी ने कश्मीर को सफलतापूर्वक जीत लिया. फॉल्स. पृथ्वीराज चौहान गुजरा प्रतिहारा प्रिंस थे. फॉल्स. इंडियन आर्मीज अगेंस्ट द टर्क्स वर हाईली एडवांस्ड एंड दैट इज फॉल्स. फिल इन दी ब्लैंक्स. मोहम्मद बिन कासिम बिलोंग टू which dynasty? Umayyad. UMAYYID. Dynasty of Mahmud of Ghazni was Turkish. He was Turkish Sultan. Mahmud of Ghazni looted the temple. कौन सा मंदिर लूटा? सोमनाथ. Thereafter was the author of Kitabul Hind al-Biruni. Okay. Prithviraj Chauhan was the ruler of Delhi और दूसरा फिला अजमेर. Now students, match it. First one is suffered defeat at the hands of Bhima II. This is the first one in AD 1178. Was defeated by Prithviraj Chauhan. This is second one, AD 1191. Third, defeated Prithviraj Chauhan. This is AD 1192. Fourth, defeated Jayachandra of Kannauj. Answer is AD 1194. And the last one is defeated the Khokars, AD 1205. Okay students, thank you. I do hope the exercises are very clear to you. Thank you and have a nice day.